I'm going to take you guys along with me to do a gas furnace tune-up on this guy right here. One of the first things that I do on any unit is a visual inspection once I get to it in an attic or in a closet, whatever the case may be, just to check and see if there's any major issues or any obvious issues that need to be addressed. Check for trash, things like that around the unit. I'll do the same thing with the inside once I open up the panels. A quick visual inspection of the system, the components, check the filter. The filters are the life of an air conditioning system. If those things can't breathe, the system can't breathe and move air. So filters are priority for the homeowners, especially to keep them regularly changed and make sure they're clean and can breathe. I reach in and with my phone and my camera and usually snap pictures of that. Check the blower motor and wheel. Make sure there's no trash in there, no buildup of dirt or anything on the blower wheel that could affect the airflow. Continue to check all the various wire connections, make sure they're good and tight. Start from the top, work my way down to the bottom, just a quick tug. Make sure everything is all right. If anything is loose, it'll let me know and I can make an adjustment and tighten it back up, or even replace the terminal if needed. So now that we got that done, the first thing I do before this thing gets hot, after I turn it on, is pull out the flame sensor, clean it, inspect it, check the rod and the ceramic. Make sure there's no hairline cracks or anything like that. Sometimes these things can be a pain to get out. This one's not too bad. It's got a little bit of build up on it over just from use. So we'll put that in a coarse rag and get all the contaminants off of it and pop that guy back into place. Typically, it's far and few between that a flame sensor will go bad. And of course, one thing I didn't show you is in this video is checking the millivolts on that to make sure it's putting out what it should. Step down to the capacitor, see how we're doing on that guy. So I've got 9.4 and it should be 10 plus or minus 10%. So if that thing gets to 9 or below, it needs to be replaced. I'll check the fault codes on the control board, see if it gives any fault codes, and then I will act as the thermostat to turn this guy on and get it hot. Inducer motor kicks on, hot surface igniter kicks on. I check the amperage of that guy, do a brief dusting of it. Those things are very sensitive, so it's not recommended for homeowners to try to get in there and do that. Fires right up. Excellent. Make sure my gas valve switch works, and it does. We'll turn it back on, let this thing reset. Get going again. Check the ignition cycle, check the burner manifold, the flames, the flame colors, any rollout, check the power to the inducer motor, check the exhaust flue connections. I listen to this inducer motor to see if there's anything in that exhaust flue, because sometimes squirrels or critters will drop leaves or whatever down from the top and you'll hear that rattling. And if there's something in there, I'll pull off the flue to blow it all out, make sure it's clean. No extra rattling noises that aren't supposed to be there. I'll let this thing run for 15 or 20 minutes to get good and hot. And then I'll go inside and perform a carbon monoxide test. While I'm letting this thing heat up, a lot of times I'll straighten up wiring or make small little, not really necessary adjustments, but just adjustments that I like to do for myself. In this case, we'll strap up the wiring harness with tie straps or zip ties and just make it look a little nicer, a little neater. This stuff's kind of monotonous, a little bit boring, I guess, to watch, but I appreciate you watching this far. If you would, click that like button and subscribe to the channel, because I'd like to add a lot more of the videos of what I do for work every day, just to share what I do. And if you have any questions or anything, maybe the videos will answer, or please reach out to me and ask your questions, and I'll do my best to answer them the same day if possible. But yeah, hit that like and subscribe button, and even if you'd like regular updates on when a video is uploaded, hit that bell, and that'll notify you when a new video is uploaded. I'd sure appreciate it. Thank you. There's one tool that, in my opinion, every technician, no matter what field you're in, needs to have. If you work with zip ties, man, you need a flush cut set of cutters. No more cut arms, fingers, whatever, because these tie straps, they get really sharp when you just cut them and hack them off at the end instead of flush cutting them like this. Maybe that's just a pet peeve of mine. I don't know, but man, I hate sticking my hand in stuff sometimes and catching my arm or the top side of my hand, and just, I feel it, and then here comes the scratch or the blood, whatever the case may be, and then I got a mess to clean up on top of everything else. Over time, with these wires hanging down like they were, they'll collect a little bit of debris on the bottom of them. And for me, it's easier to clean a harness when it's all together than it is wire by wire. I just bundle them up and keep them out of the way. It makes it look nice, keeps it protected, and any dirt or whatever that gets built up over time can easily be taken off. There we go. Let's see what this guy looks like from the front now. I'll adjust the thermostat wires too, make them kind of tidied up just a little bit. Let's see what we got here. There we go. All nice, neat, and out of the way. Very nice. And that's pretty much it. Shut it down, cool it down, and put the panels back on. Good to go.